You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
The Doc from Sydney has given us the flick for the last couple of weeks. He's pressure of business up there, and we hope he's going to ring in. So we've started just a couple of minutes ahead of him scheduling his call into us. If he rings in, of course, we'll put him on, and if he doesn't, we'll just push on, Don. And now, just before we ended the last segment, tell me about this. How much can you control people's lives
individually, or
did you watching this?
We'll get comments.
Did you hear that rustling? Michael Christian Menswear.com
yes,
up
you
your
told
coat.
me not to give him the biscuits till afterwards.
You bought biscuits over Anzacs from the Ayatollah, and you've given it to him and he's eaten them. How many complaints, Don, do we get about you not paying attention and eating biscuits on air?
Well, we can leave
What's wrong with you, boy?
Do you think
Seriously.
I'm worried?
What?
Do you think I'm worried? There you
Right,
go, beautiful.
well,
Can you? How does she do those, Michael? She should market them. They are moist.
Me.
Usually the Anzacs are hard as a rock, but they're the best.
Bit soft.
She should market them, Michael.
She is about to, I think.
Good.
How
Well,
long?
I'm in town, Sammy. We're going to swing past that, I wrote it down here somewhere, that Bohemian
What?
club in Balaclava, the Swingers Club. Yeah, we're going to swing by there while I'm in town.
just friends?
That's it, yes. Yeah.
What do you want to go down there, Michael?
Well, man's on his own.
Okay.
I'm not allowed in on my own, am I?
No, you're not. On certain days you are allowed to come in. You've got to be accompanied by
You've got to get there.
2 women or 2 females. Two people with X chromosomes. You've got to be. I'm not sure that you'd be allowed in, Mick. Mind you, your head looks. You could use that for. Now look.
We could get down there about
How much
10
can you
o'clock
control people's lives? Do you know what Crocs are? Crocs, those rubber
shoes.
Yeah. They're now. You think I make this up on anything? They're now thinking of banning them in shopping centres and on railway stations. Wearing Crocs because people stand on the escalator
catch their toes.
and they can't step off the escalator, and the Crocs have been going in where the teeth go in to have the escalator come round and come back up again. And there's been a couple of incidents. So they're banning Crocs from... Can you believe this?
Crocs are back in fashion.
Not on... no, if you want to go...
Well,
out,
did they ever?
if you want to
were they
go
ever
out...
in
Here
fashion?
it is, here, look, you won't believe it. There they are. There they are there. Crocs. Does that say Crocs being banned? Ivan, please.
5 minutes, John. 5 minutes.
He's calling in.
5 minutes,
Well
John.
done.
5 minutes ago.
Good work.
Crocs are being banned from airports, train stations and shopping centres.
Yeah, because people get them caught in the escalators. How much can you control people's lives?
Maybe... No, I won't say that.
Maybe what?
Maybe they're the type of people that we don't want anyway.
What, simpletons? People who can't manage their own life without
People that
actually
wear
having
Crocs.
to have their hand held through every capacity and every walkway in the community, Don. It's just extraordinary. Did you see? Now, tell me what's wrong with this. They made a big hullabaloo about the girl, the woman, Sabalenka, who lost to Coco Gauff, Sabalenka. So she lost the final, and she went into the rooms after it, and they've got video of her smashing a racket on the ground in annoyance and frustration, and there's been a huge furore over her doing that. What the hell is wrong with doing that, Don? Why would you accept defeat? She didn't do it out on the stadium. She got inside and she smashed the racket.
4 minutes.
What?
4 minutes.
One countdown.
Countdown.
It's like we're going into space. What are you talking about? 4 minutes.
4
Give
minutes.
us
4 minutes
give us
and counting.
when it gets to 10. Go 10, 9, 8, 7.
Yeah, okay, I'll try and do that, but it's 4 minutes.
What's wrong with
You're right there, you swallowed it. You didn't spit it out.
What's wrong with smashing your racket?
Why didn't you spit it out?
What? I'll spit it on you in a minute. What's wrong with smashing your racket in the rooms after the game? At least you didn't throw the silver tray into the dustbin.
Do you throw your golf clubs when you're on the course?
Occasionally, and not
occasionally. You lose your temper?
Don, I'm answering your
Never lose
question.
his temper.
Occasionally, I have thrown them, but not for a long time.
What? We're maturing, are we?
No, I tell you why, because it puts your shoulder out.
How is the shoulder,
Yeah,
by
shoulder's
the way?
fucked. So if you
So
throw...
that's your mood. Pain is... I didn't realise.
So what is wrong with Sabalenka? And here's my other thing. And this is how pathetic society is. Djokovic is Serbian, so they put his name up on the scoreboard. Djokovic, S-E-R-B. And Medvedev, I think, is Russian, isn't he?
Yep.
Or is he from Belarus? So they don't put
Russian.
him out because they don't recognise Russia as a country because they invaded Ukraine. Can you think of anything more? And they didn't put Sabalenka up. She's from Belarus. They didn't put her. They just said, they didn't show what country she was from. Who are these people? Who tells you you can't put
3
up...
minutes, Johnny.
3 minutes.
3
to go.
minutes.
Mick, you think I have these conversations on the phone with you down in Tasmania. I'm telling you this, Don has got autism. I said that to someone the other day, and I tell you who I said it to, Fiona Byrne. I said, Don, I think seriously has autism. And nothing wrong with having autism.
Where
but
is
just,
Fiona?
She said she'd like to come in and speak about, she's been judging Miss Australia. And she said there's some interesting things to say about it. So she's coming in, she said she was, but she says that a lot.
Like Wayne Carey.
So why wouldn't you put up that Sabalenka and Medvedev are from Russia? What's it got to do with us that they've invaded the Ukraine? Honestly, there are more simple-minded, politically correct people masquerading as virtuous parasites in this world than God Almighty.
Than
it's
parasites.
unbelievable. Did you see? Someone told me. Don's laughing and he can't speak because he's got a mouthful of Anzacs. That's why he can't speak. What are you trying to say, stupid? Here, wait for this. Go on. What are you trying to say?
It's called manners.
It's what?
Called manners.
I tell you what it's called. It's called manners not to eat on microphone. Where how many
But it's
times?
manners not to eat with your mouth full. But you've overcome that. You can shovel a whole
Not to eat
barrel
with your
load
not
in
to
your
eat
mouth
with
and
your
still
mouth full.
conduct a conversation.
How else would you eat if your mouth's not full? That's another.
But you can carry a conversation with a full mouth
That's
of food.
another mixed metaphor. It's not kosher to eat with your mouth full. That's exactly how you eat with your mouth full. It's not speak with your mouth full, Don. That's what it is. Now
Ben should be ringing in.
Oh, so we got down to
9:35.
We're into the countdown?
Yes.
Oh, gee, well, let's
So you'll be happy?
tense up, see if we can put him to air, if in fact we're already not on air. And now, did you notice Mr. Joyce and Mr. Joyce, who got $85 million bonus to leave Qantas, someone said they sat for 6 hours on the tarmac. On the Qantas plane, did you hear this?
Yes, I heard this as well.
6 hours. 6 hours they sat on the tarmac because the plane had been overloaded too much and the short runway wasn't long enough for the plane to get into the air. So they sat for 6 hours.
Who sat?
The
Ivan,
passengers.
come in.
The passengers sat there for 6 hours. This is what I've heard.
Yep.
And they were only, in that 6 hours, it's a good way to lose a bit of weight, they were given just some water and a few bags of nuts. That was it for 6 hours. And they said, due to the plane being overloaded, well, whose fault is that?
And a short runway because...
Yep.
Here
Oh,
we
it was the
go.
doc.
Holy shit. So, come on in. Here we go.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
I
let's
know
hope
you've
this
had an
works. Does this
operation,
work?
but-
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Oh, my word. Well, the Doc has come back from the wilderness. It's great to have you on board, Doc.
How are you, boys? What trouble are you causing this week?
Well, could I just...
No. He's just so excited. What have you got? Have you got some photos of him, Doc? Because he just gets so excited when you're on.
Doc?
It starts an hour before.
Shut up,
I'm not
Doc.
allowed to have coffee. At 8:15, I've got to
Don's-
be in here preparing for your interview.
MichaelChristianMenswear.com is here, and he's brought over some Anzac biscuits from the Ayatollah from Tasmania, and Don is eating them on air, Doc. How many times have we told him, don't eat on air? And Michael Christian...
but the reason people like Don is because Don does what Don wants to do when Don wants to do it, and that's what makes Don Don. And I love the fact that Michael has made the stubby coolers. Michael, thank you so much. I've got one now in my office there at home. Not that I'm drinking while working at home, although I did get in a little bit of trouble in the last week or so. I got called out by the Daily Telegraph newspaper here in Sydney because the Friday before last I appeared on a colleague's program, and it was late on a Friday afternoon after I'd been to a long lunch, and I was accused of being a little bit...
Tipsy.
How should we put it? Tipsy.
Well, were you?
So,
A bit
yes,
of
I was.
Jimmy Fallon.
Okay, well, that's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine.
I was. Because I had a story to break, and so I thought I've got to break the story. And like I didn't choose the timing. The story came my way. It was actually quite a big story because it turned into something everyone spoke about, which was the fact that John Farnham had lent You're the Voice to the Voice campaign. And as you know, you guys spoke about it last week. It's been all over the country. And so I had that news that was given to me over lunch or while I was at lunch. And so I thought I better go into the studio and break the news, knowing that everyone was going to be talking about it a couple of days later when it was going to be confirmed. But my boss was listening, and he called me afterwards and he said, "Have you been to lunch?" And I said, "Yeah, I have." "Why? How do you know?" He said, "I just heard you on air." It was pretty obvious. So, you know.
Is that all? Was that all that was said, Ben?
Yeah, he just said in future, when you get an exclusive story like that, can you just pass it along to the host and let them break it? And I did say, well, that's going to take
No, you're a journo. You've got to receive the credit for breaking a story.
You wouldn't be doing
and,
that.
you know, I did say to him, that's going to take a little bit of adjusting from my point of view.
Exactly.
Because,
Because you're not a team player.
No, I am a team player, Don, but I've always operated on the basis that, you know, when news breaks, you want to get that news out there. You want to share it with people. And you know, I've received a phone call. I'll tell you, many, many years ago, I received a phone call at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'd been to my own farewell. I was working at for Radio 2UE in Canberra as a political correspondent, and I'd done a year there. I was due to be heading back to Sydney at 9 a.m. The removalist trucks were coming, and at 1 a.m. I received a phone call, and the bloke said, "Get to Thredbo." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "There's a massive story breaking in Thredbo. All of the emergency services are headed there." But I'd been out to my own farewell, so I wasn't fit enough to drive. So I phoned this photographer, Mike Bowers, this legendary photographer.
Oh,
and I
yes,
said,
from the ABC or cartoonist.
Yeah, and I said, "Mate, we've got to jump in the car. You've got to drive both of us to Thredbo." And he said, "But I'm pissed." And I said, "Well, wake up Liz," who was his girlfriend at the time. He said, "No, she's pissed too." So we had three of us. None of us could drive. We eventually tracked down a bloke called Ben Mitchell, a newspaper journalist, and he drove all four of us to Thredbo, and it was the Thredbo landslide, you know, a big story. And we were some of the first to arrive there. So, you know, again, I mean, what am I to do? Say to the person calling me at 1 a.m., "No, listen, I've had a few drinks, so I can't cover the story." So I don't know. I guess, you know, you got to follow the boss's orders. The boss wants me to do that going forward.
Now, Ben, you know how when you get home at 3 a.m. in the morning and you've got the porch light on and all the moths are buzzing around the light, you wouldn't believe who's just walked in. Hasn't been here for 4 weeks, and she suddenly walked in. The pheromones must have come through the microphone because she's here. You can't wipe the grin off a gob.
Ben.
Well, you know what, Phoebe, how are you, my dear friend?
I'm so much better for hearing your voice.
Oh, well, that's good.
God,
that's very good. That's very good.
Sickly.
They're all jealous of our friendship, Ben.
Oh,
Well,
jeez.
I think they're resentful of our, you know, secret, deep and meaningful relationship that we have.
Oh, God.
So Doc.
Hey, Ben, I missed you on Wednesday. I was in Sydney and I thought we might cross paths at the upfronts.
Oh, the Channel 9 upfronts. Yeah, this is the big event where we show off all of the big shows we've got coming up. I was there on stage as part of it, but as soon as the party got underway, I got out of there because I try and avoid those kind of things on school nights. In fact, Richard Wilkins called me and he said, mate, don't leave the party without me. And I said, Dickie, I'm at home with my children and my wife having dinner. I left hours ago. So yeah, look, they've got some big shows coming up. And you know who I ran into there? Now, this is really interesting for you guys. I spotted Eddie Maguire and Caroline Wilson, right? And the two of them were locked in conversation. Now, I'm not a Melbourne person, but I've followed enough kind of Melbourne mafia stuff and the kind of wars and disputes that go on within the AFL to know that from time to time these two have had some interesting exchanges, Eddie and Caro, and I know you have as well, Sam. So I was really intrigued to watch these two chatting together, and then I entered the conversation as well. I met Caro for the first time. I found her rather charming, Sam, I've got to say. I confessed to her that I'm involved in the Sam Newman podcast. She questioned my sanity. But then I said to Caro and Eddie, I said, now, how long have you two known each other? And they were explaining that they go back to I think when they were teenagers, when they started working around the media and around AFL. So, no, it was fascinating to watch the two of them exchanging, and they were getting along like a house on fire.
Yes, Caro insists on being treated equally, but not too equally, if you understand what I mean. No, she does. She thinks, we're all in it together as long as I'm not in it too much together.
Well, I think Caro is formidable.
It was great seeing Eddie, wasn't it, Ben?
Why do you?
Yeah, Eddie was in good form. He's going to be part of the Olympics coverage for Channel 9. So, no,
why do you think she's formidable?
Well, because she doesn't take a backward step.
Because she has an opinion in the media.
Yeah. And
welcome to the club.
Yeah, like you. But, Sam, not everyone has that same strength. A lot of people cave at the first hint of pressure, and so I admire people like her, like you, who are willing to have a go and stand their ground.
Now, Ben, you just mentioned that Channel 9 have got the Olympics. Which, the Summer or Winter Olympics?
Well, we've got all of them. But we're going to be...
So we're not going to see Bruce?
Don's into his third Anzac as we speak.
Yeah, you won't see Bruce, but while I was there at the Channel 9 upfronts, I saw a message came up on the big screen, and it said, and Ben Fordham will be broadcasting live from Paris. And someone standing next to me said, oh, that's good. And I said, well, I didn't know that for sure until now, but now that they've announced it.
What about the bride?
Le confiture. Yeah, I'm looking forward to jumping on the plane and being in Paris.
With Jodie, take the kids over?
Yeah, well, I've said to Jodie, she speaks French, so I've said to Jodie that she should come over for at least a week to be my translator.
Oh, bonsoir.
Ben, I need to get a gig as your producer.
Well,
now
for that
there
trip
might be a
to
job
Paris.
going.
Oh, really?
Now, Doc, have you given the electric car back to Elliot?
No, no, I haven't given the electric car back to Elliot.
Well, what's your verdict?
I'm loving driving the electric car, but I might have misled you when I suggested that the EV could drive all the way from Sydney to Melbourne in one go, because after that. I know, but I was just taking a guess, and I'd only just received this car to have a go of. How many Ks would it be from Sydney to Melbourne, do we think?
800?
Yep, 800.
Yeah, so that means you'd have to recharge once along the way.
At least.
No, once.
Well, all right, and if there's a whole lot of people in them, there's about 4 charging stations at one particular venue, you've got to wait for 5 or 6 hours to get a turn. It's absolute nonsense. It's a hoax.
Okay, well, a fast charge can charge your car in about 30 minutes, right?
If you're first in the queue.
Yeah, so if there were 4 people in front of you, then you might have to wait a couple of hours if there was only one charger. But Sam, I'm not planning on driving to Melbourne. I've never driven from Sydney to Melbourne or Melbourne to Sydney. That's the kind of trip where I jump on an aeroplane. And in fact, I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be flying tomorrow to Melbourne, and I'm going to be broadcasting live from Flemington on Friday morning.
Oh.
And I've got a bit of a dilemma. I've got a slot that's free at 8:15 on Friday morning. And Sam, I'm starting to contemplate whether I should be trying to encourage you to wake up early on Friday morning and come to Flemington and have a chat with me live on the 2GB Breakfast Show.
Yeah, like about what?
Just about life.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't put most of it to air.
Got it to be live.
Yeah. So,
can I just jump in? Actually,
yes.
Sam, you do know how to behave on radio. He did a fantastic interview the other night with Sam Kekovich,
Yes.
and that was a great chat. And you managed to not offend too many people in that hour. So Ben, I reckon extend the hand of friendship. Why are you broadcasting from Flemington on Friday?
Promoting the Melbourne Cup Carnival. So it's a fly in and fly out. I'll be. Well, the other thing we could do is we could always have a little early dinner on Thursday night.
That would be good. Can I invite myself?
Who's up for that?
I'm going to say,
Yeah.
who are you asking? Phoebe,
I would
Phoebe's
take you
in
all.
like Flynn.
I'd take you all to dinner for an early dinner Thursday night.
Done.
Whereabouts?
Sold.
Where,
Well,
Phoebe,
where do you want to
settle
go?
down. Yeah. What would you like us to make the booking?
No, I can sort something out, but otherwise you tell me, you can make a booking somewhere and I'll be there and we have an early dinner, my shout.
So let's just get this Thursday. This is tomorrow.
Correct.
Tomorrow?
Yeah,
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, Thursday.
Today is
Don.
Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow, the doctor is coming down in his own private plane, his private jet, and he wants to take us to dinner. Now,
You've got a function, Phoebe.
well, sure, that's
Cancelled
suddenly been
immediately.
cancelled. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so why don't you make a booking for 6 p.m? I'm going to have a +1 with me, my executive producer, James Willis, who would love to meet you all. So you just add 2 on from the Sydney crew and whoever wants to come from the Melbourne end.
Where are we going?
Well, I don't know, somewhere. I mean, I don't want to go too far, but I'll be staying in the city somewhere. But
Well, you're going to
I'm
organise the place, are you? Either society...
No, you are, Sam.
Oh, I am.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you organise it, Sam. I think you organise it because I trust you. I'm happy to jump in an Uber and come wherever. You just tell me where to go and I'll be there.
Okay, well,
I kind of dine a little bit earlier than most, so could we do a kind of 6 o'clock?
Oh, we can
Catch
do
up?
anything for you, Ben.
Sounds perfect.
The first person I'll be speaking when we get off air will be Eddie, because Eddie can get us into anywhere. I couldn't get us into McDonald's, but there's a place called I can't think of it. Chris Lucas.
You know,
I know.
Yeah. That's the one I've been to. Chin Chin.
Yeah, no. There's Chin Chin. There's the Californian Grill or the Grill.
Oh, grilled Americano. That's what you're talking about.
And what's the other one? Gimlet or
Gimlet.
Giblets.
No,
Gimlet.
There's got to be more than 3
No,
restaurants in
but
Melbourne.
they're the creme de la creme.
Ben, leave it to us. We'll sort it out.
He's not coming down.
You happy to do it?
He's not coming
Yeah,
down to eat
absolutely.
at Hungry Jack's, Don. He's coming down
No,
to go
well,
swish.
But it's
I'm
a
easy,
company.
I'm easy.
It's a
No,
company.
Ben, 6 o'clock. It's done. We'll sort it out. We'll come back to you off air with the location.
Can you look after the booking, Phoebe?
Yes, I'll sort it out.
Because I've just got a feeling that it would be a smoother experience if you deal with it other than Sam or Don.
I'm deferring to Eddie. Eddie will get.
Oh, but Eddie doesn't want to get involved in doing a dinner booking for Ben Fordham, mate.
You like
You'll
old
do it
women,
for
will
me.
you shut up?
Right, he'll do it for me.
Oh, God.
Now,
No, Phoebe, you look after it, and I'll contact you via text today
Thanks, Ben.
to
We'll talk off
organise
air.
the detail.
As
Yeah,
they say,
6 p.m.
we'll take this offline.
Ben, can
We'll
I
take
ask
this
you
one
a
offline.
question? Can I ask you a question?
Yes, Don.
Why Flemington? There will be nobody at Flemington. So why
Well-
are you doing the broadcast coming all the way from Sydney to nobody?
That's a very, very good question. And I asked the same question when I was asked to be there, but it's all about, the imagination that you can create to build anticipation of the Melbourne Cup Carnival. So, look...
Shouldn't you be promoting the Everest?
I do that as well.
Oh, you got a foot in both camps.
He's ubiquitous.
Yeah, so whoever wants to, engage with the #1 radio show in Sydney at breakfast time, we're happy to take your money and to promote whatever you've got going on, whether it's the Melbourne Cup Carnival or anything else around the place. Maybe we should be doing, the You Cannot Be Serious podcast should be advertising on 2GB.
Well, if you could advertise for us, we're happy for you to run it, and we can just be guests.
What's your advertising budget like?
Oh, gee.
Well, if we can sell a few more stubby holders, I reckon we can afford to pay
Well,
for
we're
one
giving them
person to go
away.
out to dinner tonight.
Now, listen, Phoebe, can I tell you about an idea that I've had, and I have pitched this to the boys,
Yes, Ben.
and I haven't followed through with it yet. I need to confess that but I do have it ready to go. So Gina Liano, who was on The Real Housewives of Melbourne, and she also happens to be a very smart legal mind. She's got her own podcast called Judge Gina, where she has two parties who are friends, but they might have a disagreement over a certain topic or topics, and Judge Gina sorts it out. So I've contacted a producer who works with Judge Gina, Liano, and Judge Gina is open to coming in on the You Cannot Be Serious podcast, and all of the little disputes that these two might have around Anzac biscuits and speaking into the microphone and repeating stories that may have been told 16 times.
Spot on.
Gina can hear both sides of the arguments and then can adjudicate and give a judgment from Judge Gina about who really is most cuckoo out of Sam and Don. Do you reckon that'd be a good listen?
I think it would be a superb listen, and I would encourage it to happen because...
Now, I'm not making light of this, Doc, because it's an ailment that people suffer from. But I was speaking to Phoebe yesterday, and I said, I honestly think Don has autism. I did. You did. And you said,
well,
he said, well, he says that about you. I said, yeah, but he's joking. I think Don actually has autism, and I'm making
autistic.
light.
No,
I'm not making light of that because it's a lot of people.
Well, you've got Asperger's. I'm autistic. What a combination!
On a scale of 1 to 10, Don,
what
the autism? What number are you?
Let's not make light of
no, I'm
people
not making
who
light
have
of it.
neurological
I had a
issues.
serious conversation with you, didn't I,
yes,
Phoebe? He has autism.
And you know what?
So you two are talking behind my back.
Absolutely. What other way?
Jeez, I'm not going to ring you anymore, Phoebe.
Some of the brightest minds in the world have autism.
They do.
And so you often find that people
Have you
who
got
are on
it,
the
Ben?
spectrum.
Ben.
Oh no, I don't. Not that I'm aware of.
Do you know
I
the bloke
haven't
who
been
ran? You know the bloke who ran 9 successfully for his whole career. Should I mention this?
Yeah.
Mr.
Packer?
David Gingell.
Yeah, David Gingell.
Oh.
Hasn't he got autism?
No, I don't think it's autism.
Oh, don't you?
No, I mean Ginger's a very talented bloke.
Absolute star.
I'm trying to think who it might have been. I don't know whether it was Ginger or someone else might have been dyslexic.
Yeah,
dyslexic.
Kerry Packer was dyslexic.
No.
Yeah, well, there you go. I mean, you often find that. And look, as people...
Sinclair Hill was
think,
dyslexic too. Do you remember Sinclair Hill? A
Yes.
great Australian polo player.
Sinclair Hill, yes. So Sinclair Hill actually was Prince Charles's polo coach.
Hey Doc, have you heard of Larry? Have you heard of Larry?
There's Don's autism kicking in again.
And I had Fiona going as well, but you two cut me off.
I do not want to make
Speaking
light
of Sinclair,
people
have you heard of someone called Larry Sinclair, Doc?
Larry Sinclair. Remind me.
Tucker Carlson interviewed Larry Sinclair about.
Oh yeah, I saw the clip of it. Wow.
You listened to that interview? It is extraordinary. Extraordinary. Barack Obama.
I'm a bit worried.
You can't believe this. Rex is coming
Rex,
in.
Rex,
Shit, Rex is coming.
Hey, wait for this.
Oh, God.
I'm a bit worried about Tucker Carlson. I mean, I think Tucker just,
Fantastic,
I don't know. I mean,
he is. He's brilliant.
Yeah, but he seems to be just getting a little bit kooky.
Hang on a minute. Rex.
Hey, did I hear Ivan there, by the way?
Yeah, Ivan's there.
Rex,
Michael's there. And we've just got Rex Hunt
Michael's
coming in.
Shut up, Don. The great Rex Hunt has come into the podcast. Would you like to speak to Ben Fordham in Sydney, Rex?
Oh, I love Rex.
Oh, have a look. He's come alive. He's come alive.
He said he loves
Oh, God, here we go.
Here he is. This is the great
He's
Rex
back.
Hunt.
Rex Hunt is back, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, mate.
Doc, you obviously knew that I was in a bit of trouble, and Newman has been just the absolute...
We're on air, Rex.
I don't give a fuck what
Oh, we got Ricky Nixon. We've got the whole crowd. Oh, jeez, one
Rex,
flew over the cuckoo's nest.
Speak to Doc.
Doc, you said you had
Doc
2 or 3
Fordham.
kids that wanted...
Yeah.
That Lawsy wasn't well enough to speak to them about old-fashioned radio with Jack Davey. I said, I can get to Albury, but I can't do long hauls. Give me 2 days to get there and get them somewhere down where my unit is at the what is it, Circular Quay or whatever the fucking thing's called.
Don, Rex, kiddies are listening. Rex,
Hey,
please.
can I just say...
No, Rex, sit down, man.
I just want to say something.
Sit down.
Can we have a round of
Scott.
applause?
I'm having
Can we have a round of
some the
applause for
biggest-
Rex Hunt?
Hang on, he's
Rex
still
Hunt, ladies and
speaking to
gentlemen,
you.
give him a
having
round of
some of the
applause.
biggest names
Here he
in the
is.
game. John Newman is...
Rex.
You're an imbecile, Scott.
Right, that's Rex now. The Rex is just blown in and blown out, and things are going well.
No, well, hang on a moment. Why don't you wrap me up, and then I want to hear Rex on
No, he's
part
walked
3.
out.
No,
No,
he's-
he's coming back again, Doc.
The only reason he sat
he's
down,
lost his glasses.
The only reason he sat down, Doc, was to speak to you. And now,
Yeah, but-
would you like to speak to the Chicken Nixon? He's just walked in.
Is Chicken Train there as well?
Yes,
Where's
he's walked in.
Kappa?
He's got
Kappa.
got a shirt on.
Quickly, Ricky. This is
got the chicken
this is
shirt
what-
on.
This is what we're dealing
Hey,
with, the
Phoebe.
lunatic asylum.
Hey, Phoebe.
Ben, I think you and I are going to go for dinner tomorrow night and leave these guys at home. Sorry.
Here's the
Phoebe,
chicken.
do you ever wonder to yourself, how did I end up here?
Well, thankfully, Ben, I've only ended up here just to talk to you. So the window is tightening.
She's got the editor waiting for her. She's got the editor on the phone.
Well, please tell me that I'm going to hear Rex Hunt on part 3 of the podcast today, because I'll be listening when I get home. I'm guessing I'm on
No,
part
he's gone.
2. I
He's
want to
gone.
hear.
He's gone.
in his
He's
car.
gone.
I've
He's
just
just
driven
gone.
past in his car.
What?
He's just driven past.
It's a madhouse.
You are
mate,
not
you
wrong.
are. Rex has
Jack
just
Nicholson.
driven
Well, that's
past
all we
in his
need.
car. I'm going to ring
Hey,
him.
listen, I'll see you in Melbourne tomorrow night. Phoebe, I'll be on the text with you today, and we
Looking
are
forward to
going
it.
to dinner tomorrow night.
Looking forward to it, Ben. See you tomorrow night.
Holy Shit,
Love you all.
Oh, yeah, Doc, you star.
Bye.
Hang on.
Ciao.
I've been looking for Rex Hunt for 3 weeks, and I just walk in. I went to the toilet, didn't know he was sitting here. Now he's just stormed out.
So you found him in the toilet.
What,
Well, I won't
Phoebe?
comment on that.
What are you talking about, Phoebe?
Oh, it's Ricky. I'm just saying to Ricky, you're still on air.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, we're on air, Ricky.
Are we?
Chicken. I've got better ring, Rex. What was that about? He honestly, he
Oh,
swept
mate.
in. What?
I was,
Do you want to close this chapter and call him?
Oh, well, I can call him now, Phoebe. You speak. You carry the podcast for a
No,
little.
I need a spell.
You carry
so
it
the
for a
spell.
minute.
have a spell.
Go on. Go on, Don. Do
I'm
something.
not going to carry it.
I'm ringing Rex.
Hit the button, please.
Shut up. No.
Look, actually, Ricky, I'll carry it. Tell us about what you've been up to. I hear you've got a big breakfast coming up very soon.
Yeah, grand final breakfast on grand final morning. And also I've got a big story coming up on my podcast on Monday about Chrissy Swan.
Oh, dear.
Have you got a podcast, Rick?
Yes, I have.
What's it called?
It's called The Chicken Coop. It's more about old footy stories and inside.
And you do it
inside.
by yourself or with somebody?
Dan Lonigan, ex-ABC. Dan Lonigan. He's very good at hosting, so I do it with him. And it's been going...
And you've got a guest this week, have you?
I have a guest each week.
And who have you got
it was
this week?
Well, I do it on Mondays, but it was Robert DiPierdomenico,
Oh, Birdie.
Dipper, who
Yep.
was very funny, and
Yep.
told me a fact that I wonder if you knew this, Don. You probably do as an ex-Hawthorn superstar. There's only been 2 coaches of the Hawthorn Football Club that weren't ex-players. I didn't, and that's who are they?
That is Alan Jeans,
Correct.
number 1. And it goes way back. I mean, in the 40s.
Well, no, sorry, he said in the last 30 years, I think, something like that. There's only been 2 coaches that weren't ex-players.
and
One's Alan
Clarkson,
Jeans and
and the other
Clarkson.
Clarkson.
And arguably they were the 2 most successful, weren't they?
Well, arguably, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
arguably.
Who was your first coach?
John Kennedy.
Oh, yes, very good coach as well, yes.
Yes, and then David Parkin.
David
and
Parkin.
then Alan Jeans for 12 months, I think,
Yeah, yeah,
at the end.
yeah,
Right at the end.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of what would you say, a very popular coach, wasn't he? Or a lot, Alan Jeans, as in people think he was a great coach.
But any coach who's great has got to have the players. Now,
I agree with you. Yeah.
John Kennedy, I mean, it's just... We've got Alex Giselenko, won a premiership at Carlton, goes to St Kilda, not successful.
Yes.
Tony Jewell, the same. John Kennedy
Need the
went from
cattle.
Hawthorn to North Melbourne. Alan Jeans went from Hawthorn to Richmond. Alistair Clarkson now at North Melbourne from Hawthorn.
Yeah.
So it depends on the cattle you've got as to who or your success. So, no, I
Makes
think...
me laugh at this time of the year. I know you guys don't follow footy very much these days, but the trade period, they just talk it up all day, every day, for the sake of one player. One player ain't going to win you a premiership next year. I don't care which club you're
And also, Rick, the players that they're getting, you're inheriting a problem. I believe that, you know, these players are either discontented or lack ability or whatever
Yeah, fair
else.
point.
And so all you're doing is recycling, and I don't think they're going to add much to your team. There are one or two that do, but it's only short term.
Yes.
So
I mean, you'd arguably say, I think Rex is back, actually, looking at the car that's pulling up at the front.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Do you want me to go and speak to him,
Righto,
Sam?
now
I'm
we're
good at
winding
negotiation.
this up. This has been most interesting. Rex has driven back, and God
What?
knows what he's going to do.
I better get
when
out of his
comes
seat
in.
or he might.
So here we
bash me.
go, kids. Well done.